and welcome to this change timing of Darpan today. We'll be having Darpan from 8:25 onwards till 9:30, and then we'll have half an hour of Q&A. This week, we'll be discussing the whole theme of how a new age sales organization is to be built. What are those imperatives of the science of sales? Sales has three elements: science of sales, commerce of sales, and art of sales. We will not be discussing commerce and art. We'll be discussing only the science of sales. In the science of sales, we'll tell you what all things we cover, what all things we will have to create, capture, and then appropriate. So there is three elements of sales, which is value creation, value capture, and value appropriation. So today we'll understand the whole network of value, how this value happens, and what do we do as an organization to start appropriating this value going forward in next few sessions. But before we start the program, let's start with the meditation. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, say I'm that. Breathe out, say I'm blissful. Breathe in, say I'm divine. Breathe out, say I'm all powerful. Breathe in, say I'm part of Him. Breathe out, say I'm untouchable. No disease can touch me. I can heal myself. Kindly stand up for the prayer. Before I begin today's discussion on value capture model, I would want to give a little recap in the background about the whole thing. So we'll start with a very quick understanding. There is a market. There is an organization, and there is competition or other players in the same industry. The market, which is the combination of many things, specifically economic factors, and factors like social factors. This has a huge bearing on how the market behaves. So let's see today. Economic factors are being impacted by the social factors. Now, COVID is a social factor. But because COVID has come, it also has political factors, but I'm assuming that political also comes into social. So social factors have a huge bearing on the economic factors of the market. Now, these two things together form a larger definition of the market for all of us. Now, this whole thing has a huge impact on the organization's structure. What is the meaning of structure? A structure which will have, if based on the kind of market scenario, organization structure needs to be aligned. Org structure needs to be aligned. The whole org structure needs to be aligned so that we can take best advantage of the market compared to the competition. This is the competition. So, in short, in short, market has a bearing on the org structure and it has a mutual relationship with the competition. अब हमको अपने इकोनॉमिक फैक्टर्स और सोशल फैक्टर्स को समझते हुए ऑर्ग स्ट्रक्चर को रिडिफाइन करना। क्या क्या रिडिफाइन होगा? अब आज की सिचुएशन समझ लेते हैं। इन टुडे सिचुएशन देयर आर टू मेनी cases that are coming out of COVID. There are too many market scenario changes because of COVID. Therefore, following things are bound to change in their design. First, product. Product का design change होने वाला है. What does that mean? That means no matter what you do, आपका product चाहे वो physical हो या फिर वो service हो, फिजिकल प्रोडक्ट, टेंजिबल प्रोडक्ट या सर्विस, दोनों की डिलीवरी, दोनों दोनों का पर्सनल डिजाइन, उसका खुद का डिजाइन has to change to suit this environment. So if it is a restaurant, the product is the food. Food has to be packaged in such a way that it looks hygienic. So hygiene has become a very important factor in the product element. Second, your operating model. ऑपरेटिंग मॉडल चेंज होने वाला है. दैट मीन जिस तरीके से आप ऑपरेट करते थे वैसे ऑपरेट नहीं करोगे. थर्ड, योर ह्यूमन कैपिटल, योर ह्यूमन कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट चेंज होने वाला है. जिस टाइप से, जिस तरीके से ह्यूमन बींग्स, आपका एम्प्लॉय स्ट्रक्चर था, जिस तरीके से ह्यूमन बींग्स पूरे के पूरे वर्ल्ड में जी रहे थे, now they are not going to live like that anymore. Therefore, human capital structure पे impact आने वाला है. Fourth, processes. There will be a combination of remote working and in-office working. Therefore, processes में भी impact आने वाला. Technology. There will be a technological impact that we will all have to face. Financial discipline. This will also have a large amount of impact. Because of COVID. अब अगर इतना सब कुछ चेंज होने वाला है तो हमको सब कुछ समझना तो पड़ेगा. So today and in this week we will discuss one small element of operating model which has a huge amount of bearing on all of our performances, and that operating model is what I call as a sales model. जिस तरीके से सेल्स होता था उस तरीके से सेल्स नहीं होगा. अभी सेल्स का तरीका बदलना पड़ेगा. Sales is now going to be a model which we call as a value creation, value appropriation model. So you will have to understand that now the time has come for us to understand the word value, understand how is it created, understand how it is captured, and then understand how it is appropriated. So we need to understand the word value. We need to understand the word, what is the meaning of creation of value. We need to understand what is the meaning of capturing of value. And we need to understand how do we appropriate this value. Let me introduce some terms to you. So we'll understand the value network map today, and then we will understand each of these elements. If we can't complete today, we'll continue tomorrow. So continue connected with this, remain connected with this model till the time we conclude by Friday. Okay, what are my value network agents? So everyone who is linked in the path of transaction that lead to the final sale, each and everyone who is linked in the path of the transaction till the final sale are value network agents. So that means a collective value that is being delivered to the customer, a collective value that is delivered to the customer is a combination of the values given by each of these agents. So let's look at what are the agents. One is upstream suppliers. We'll also understand the word upstream and we'll tell you what the meaning of supplier is here. Production partners, downstream firms, and finally the end user. These are four broad value network agents. Let us understand what is the meaning of upstream and downstream and partners in this whole thing. So consider this to be my firm. In this, every part, every whole element which is connected to making, I would say, making of product is a part of my upstream. हर वो चीज जो प्रोडक्ट को बनाने में मेरी मदद करती है वो अपस्ट्रीम का पार्ट है. That means from the time my raw material, is procured till product is packaged, it is upstream. Each and everything from from packaged product till consumer handover is downstream. Now all the value agents will be a part of this chain. Each and every value agent will be part of this chain. There will be some people who will be part of the upstream. And there'll be some of them who will be part of the downstream. All those who are part of upstream, which includes raw material suppliers, which includes factory, which includes workers, which includes everything that is part of the making of the product is a part of the upstream. All those which are part of from packaged product till delivery is part of the downstream. All the support activities and everything that is done are for the downstream operations. So these are the two larger sections of any these this whole thing is a part of any value chain. This is value chain. This always used to be called as a value chain till about 5 years back. When a research was done and it was realized that because of the extensive use of technology, if we continue to live with a value chain model, we will be we will not be able to capture and appropriate the value properly. So इस वैल्यू चेन के एजेंट्स को समझा गया, उनको एक नेटवर्क में डाल दिया. अब upstream suppliers are those raw material suppliers which are actually helping you make the product. Production partners can be your outsourced agents or collaborative agents with whom you are actually working with to produce the product. Like for example, for a real estate, all the raw material suppliers, all of them come into the upstream supplier element. All the contractors to whom you are actually giving the work to um, make a building is a part of the production partners. The downstream firm is the brand for whom the whole thing has been made. The channel partners, the internal sales team, the customer relationship management partners can be outsourced call centers, it can be internal call centers. All those elements which are part of the delivery to the customer are part of the downstream operations. So let us try to relook at who are my value agents in this whole network, this whole chain. So my value agent is an upstream supplier over here. It's a production partner over here. It's a downstream firm over here. It can be downstream agents over here. And it is the end consumers also come over here. This is the part of this is the whole value chain. Okay. Now this value chain is um, is something which is part of every delivery network. इसके एजेंट्स को अगर बाहर निकाला जाए, इसके एजेंट्स को अगर बाहर निकाला जाए और उनको सेपरेटली रखा जाए, तो it will become something like a value network map. So all of them are now inside a map. बट ये सब अकेले काम नहीं करते, बिकॉज इस पूरे नेटवर्क को भी कुछ फोर्सेस इसके ऊपर वर्क करती है. This is a network which is delivering the end consumer value, but there's some forces working on it. And these forces actually are outside agents which form my competition periphery. These are my outside agents which form my competition periphery. अभी आउटसाइड एजेंट्स हर एक को अपनी तरफ पुल कर रहे हैं. अगर आपके प्रोडक्शन पार्टनर को बाहर का आउटसाइड एजेंट बेटर वैल्यू देगा तो प्रोडक्शन पार्टनर बाहर चला जाएगा नेटवर्क के. अगर आपके एंड यूजर को आउटसाइड एजेंट कंपटीशन बेटर वैल्यू देगा तो वो आपके नेटवर्क से बाहर चला जाएगा. अगर आपको बाहर बेटर वैल्यू मिलने वाली है तो आप भी नेटवर्क से बाहर जा सकते हो डाउनस्ट्रीम फर्म्स. अगर अपस्ट्रीम सप्लायर्स को लगता है कि इस नेटवर्क में मेरे को एडवांटेज नहीं है तो आई मूव आउट ऑफ दिस नेटवर्क. Therefore, the only thing that is keeping people in the network is the value that is being generated. अगर उनको वैल्यू नहीं मिल रही है तो वो अंदर नहीं रहेंगे. वैल्यू जनरेट करना for others is value creation. So whatever activities upstream supplier is doing with the downstream firm, they are creating value for the downstream firm. Whatever value downstream firm is capturing is value appropriation. तो वो कुछ क्रिएट कर रहा है, हर एंटिटी, हर एजेंट कुछ वैल्यू क्रिएट कर रहा है और कुछ एप्रोप्रिएट कर रहा है. जरूरी नहीं है कि जितनी वैल्यू अपस्ट्रीम सप्लायर डाउनस्ट्रीम फर्म को दे रही है वो सारी की सारी एप्रोप्रिएट कर रही है. तो हर एक एजेंट इस नेटवर्क में वैल्यू जनरेट करता है. अब वो एप्रोप्रिएट कैसे करेगा वो उस एजेंट की पावर पर डिपेंड करता है. सो एवरी एजेंट इज क्रिएटिंग वैल्यू फॉर द नेटवर्क. It may be working only for the downstream firm. Upstream supplier might be working only for the downstream firm, but it is creating value for the network. This whole aggregated value of the network is called as the value pie. यानी पूरी की पूरी वैल्यू जो पूरी नेटवर्क की क्रिएट हो रही है उसको वैल्यू पाई बोलते हैं. ये हर एक के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. एक किराना शॉप के लिए भी इंपॉर्टेंट है. किराना शॉप इज अ डाउनस्ट्रीम फर्म. Restaurant is a downstream firm. End users are the people who come to eat there or consume products of the kirana shop. Delivery boys, all the network that they have created, Swiggy, etc., is part of the downstream operations. They're downstream agents. Some people deliver raw material to them, the trucks, the logistics, and everything is production partners. And there are upstream suppliers, the manufacturers who are actually manufacturing the products. अब ये हमको समझना है कि पूरा का पूरा इस वैल्यू में, मेरे वैल्यू नेटवर्क में, सपोज आई एम ए डाउनस्ट्रीम फर्म कॉल्ड एज XYZ किराना शॉप, तो मेरे वैल्यू नेटवर्क में कितने वैल्यू, मेरी वैल्यू पाई क्या है और उस वैल्यू पाई में मैं कितना वैल्यू एप्रोप्रिएट कर पा रहा हूं. दिस इज द गेम ऑफ टुमारो. आप इंडिपेंडेंटली ऑफ द अदर सोच ही नहीं सकते. आपको अपने वैल्यू नेटवर्क के हिसाब से ही सोचना पड़ेगा. और जब वैल्यू नेटवर्क के हिसाब से ही सोचोगे तभी आप एक ट्रू सेल्स ऑर्गेनाइजेशन बन सकते हो. You will not be able to become a sales organization without thinking of this whole value network. Okay, let's take up some questions. I think there are too many people raising hands now. Okay, raise hands. Let me answer as many questions as possible if you have any doubts right now. Mr. Hitesh Modi. Mr. Modi. You're not there by mistake?
Sorry, by mistake.
Wilson.
Yeah, good morning,
Morning.
Rohit, and to the team.
Tell me.
Yeah, thanks for explaining this. It was very useful.
Mhm.
I just want to ask a question for a little more clarity.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
The outside agents out of the circle,
Mhm.
do we expect that these outside agents should all the time keep adding value uh, to the pie, or
Outside
do
agents do not add value to the pie.
hello?
Outside agents, can you hear me?
Yes,
Outside agents do not add value to the pie.
okay.
Outside agents put pressure on the pie so that internal value creators do not move out.
Can you explain that a little better? I mean, not maybe many have understood, but for me,
No,
is it
I'm
okay?
that's it. One second. So, for example, let's say a production partner.
Yes,
A production partner is in this value pie only if and only if the value this pie generates for the production partner
okay, okay, yeah,
is
yeah, okay,
more than what an outside agent will give him.
right. So again,
Yeah.
if he is generating value, he remains
Yes. Appropriating. I said
appropriate.
for the part. So if he's able to appropriate the right value in the pie, which is more than what an outside agent will give, he will stay in the pie.
Right.
The moment outside agent will attract him with a better value, he will move out of the pie.
Okay. If the outside
Let's
agent
take an
attracts,
example. Let's take an example.
yeah,
You are an end user and you have Amazon.com. You're a Amazon.com book user. Means
yeah,
whatever books come in Amazon. Now there's another value pie, value network of Barnes and Noble.
yeah,
Suppose the day Barnes and Noble starts giving you better value, as an end user, you will move out of this pie and enter that pie, right?
oh yes,
So it's very simple.
yeah,
Everything in this world now, why I said post-COVID more important. The only thing that is going to be valued is the value. There is no arbitrage left anymore.
right,
With knowledge arbitrage, that's gone. I have a the only thing that people will get attracted to is the value that you generate for them. Now it
right,
can be functional value, it can be emotional value, it can be spiritual value, or all of them.
right. Got it.
Got it? So it's important for us as a downstream firm or an upstream supplier or an end user or a production partner to understand that I will be able to stay in the value network only if I am contributing to the value pie.
Yes,
Let's look at Uber. The moment you get down of the Uber or Ola, you rate the driver
yes.
and driver also rates you.
Okay.
So that
I
means
didn't know that.
driver will also decide whether you have added value to the network or not.
Okay. Right.
So they will only keep those end users in the value network who are adding value to the value network. तो
Right.
अभी कस्टमर को भी चूज करेगी फर्म. That's
Right.
what the world of believers, right?
Hmm.
Non-believers will be moved out of the value network.
So I see this as quite a challenge in the coming days.
It is. That's why this is
Yeah.
important to understand. How do we use this value network model to create an absolutely new model for sales?
Yeah.
We can't work with an old model of sales, of push
Right.
and satisfy customers. That's not going to work. You will have to add value to the network.
I
Then
agree with
only
you.
you are useful.
Thank you so much, Rohit.
Thank you. Yes, Rajneesh, please unmute yourself. Rajneesh, was it by mistake?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
Very
great.
sorry.
By mistake or what?
Yeah, by mistake. I'm sorry, Rohit.
Okay. No.
Yeah, Rohit, wishing you most and more happy morning.
Same to you, sir. बोलिए.
Sir ji, abhi, what we are facing,
Mhm.
before COVID, we were giving, जैसे जो हाथों हाथ हमारे delivery person को payment देता था, we were giving 3%
Mhm.
off.
Mhm.
And we were, as we were getting 10%, हम लोग 7% पे हम लोग काम करते थे कि चलो भाई हाथों हाथ पैसा दे रहा है वापस, तो हम लोग वो करते थे. लेकिन अब जो है, we cannot give that now. The scenario is the जो आउटसाइड एजेंट है, जो हमारे वो बोल रहे कि अभी क्यों नहीं दे रहे. हमने बोला अभी हम नहीं दे सकते, अभी हम लोग आपको केवल और केवल कैश देते हो तो ही हम, या आपको चाहिए तो अभी इस पे और कुछ परसेंटेज आपको लगा के हम 2 बिल भेजते हैं सेम नंबर के, कि अगर हाथों हाथ पैसा देता है तो यू यूज दिस बिल, और नहीं देता है वो बहुत बार वो बोलते हैं कि अभी सर नहीं है, चेक बुक नहीं है, और व्हाट XYZ वो लोग देते हैं वो हम लोग हम लोग वो हिसाब से उनको बिल देते हैं. बट इस हिसाब से वो लोग बोल रहे ठीक है, हमको आपसे माल नहीं चाहिए. इस सिनेरियो में वी आर ऑल्सो स्टक, क्योंकि हमारी जो कैश फ्लो है वो भी अभी बिल्कुल टाइट चल रहा है. तो इस सिनेरियो में क्या उनको हम लोग, जैसे पहले हम लोग बोलते ठीक है भाई चल अपना कस्टमर है, बहुत माल ले रहा है, या ओल्ड कस्टमर है, लेकिन वो जीत पकड़ के ही बैठे हैं कि नहीं हमको तो पुराने जैसी चाहिए. तब क्या करना इस सिनेरियो में, और अभी एट प्रेजेंट पॉसिबल नहीं.
इक्विलिब्रियम आएगा, टाइम लगेगा, आएगा. देखो, जब भी कुछ हिलता है ना,
हाँ जी,
मार्केट में, यानी कि बाहर के एजेंट्स में कुछ हिला है ना,
हाँ जी सर.
ये फोर्स जो थी ना, ये इसको नेटवर्क को पकड़ के रखी हुई थी.
ओके.
इस आउटसाइड एजेंट फोर्स वाज होल्डिंग द नेटवर्क. अब वो फोर्स रही नहीं है ना, बहुत सारी चीजें निकल गई हैं, तो कुछ लोग बाहर भी निकल गए.
ओके.
तो एक्सप्लोर कि शायद कोई नेटवर्क, कोई एजेंट मुझे ज्यादा वैल्यू दे दे, क्योंकि अंदर तो वैल्यू मिल नहीं रही है. Why
यस.
was he inside? Understand why was he inside? Because he was getting more value than what was happening outside.
यस.
Now what has happened? अभी inside को भी वो compare कर रहा है कि inside today I am getting less value than I was getting earlier.
Okay.
There might be somebody outside who might give me more value than this value. So in this, he's in that search mode. He's searching various networks. वो बाकी networks को explore कर रहा है.
ओके. ट्रायल एंड एरर कर रहा है वो दूसरे से भी. ही जस्ट सर्चिंग फॉर द अदर, कोई सप्लायर है वो हमको
For other networks कि कहां पर मुझे इससे ज्यादा वैल्यू मिलती है.
ओके. गॉट इट.
जब उसको कोई नेटवर्क मिलेगा नहीं बाहर, तो वापस आ जाएगा.
अंडरस्टूड. यानी इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि हमारे प्रोडक्ट में, हमारे सर्विस में वो इतना सारा वैल्यू चाहिए कि he understands the value of the product and value of our services, and so that he returns back to our company.
Absolutely bang on. That's why I called it value network. आपको मैं ट्रांसगनाइजेशन का बताता हूँ. प्री कोविड ट्रांसगनाइजेशन का एक वैल्यू नेटवर्क था,
Okay.
which was operating in the physical world. Intentions, purpose, intensity इतना ही था जितना आज है, शायद इससे ज्यादा भी था, बिकॉज फिजिकल वर्ल्ड था ना, तो फिजिकली मिलते थे.
Okay.
बस वही एक डिफरेंस था. लेकिन हमने सब इंटेंसिटी को सेम रखते हुए अपने मॉडल को चेंज किया कि अभी टाइम आ गया है कि बाकी नेटवर्क एजेंट्स को, जिसमें आप भी आते हो, जिसमें जो लोग नहीं थे वो भी आते हैं,
Okay.
तो सबको भरपूर वैल्यू देने का,
हाँ, got it sir, got it.
ताकि बाहर का एजेंट कोई भी खींचे ना इस समय, तो कोई जा नहीं पाए मेरे इस सेंटेंस के बोलने के बावजूद भी, क्योंकि वैल्यू इतनी मिलनी चाहिए कि हम ही उस वैल्यू पाई को मैक्सिमम कंट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं. यानी मैं वैल्यू दे रहा हूं, लोग एप्रोप्रिएट कर रहे हैं, लोग खींच रहे हैं. तो जब ये साइंस क्लियर होता है ना, वैल्यू क्रिएशन, वैल्यू कैप्चर और वैल्यू एप्रोप्रिएशन का, तो यू अंडरस्टैंड कि किस सिनेरियो में वैल्यू की वृद्धि करनी पड़ेगी.
Okay.
इस समय अगर मैं ये पकड़ के बैठ जाता कि नहीं, मुझे वैल्यू उतनी ही देनी है जितनी पहले देता था मैं, so I will not be able to hold people on to, because right now they're in the search mode.
Okay.
Got it?
Does it mean that exceeding the expectation of the customers?
कुछ भी बोलो आप उसको, ये सब पुराने वर्ड्स हैं. वैल्यू क्रिएशन इज द राइट वर्ड.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
Absolutely got it. Got it. Thank you very much.
Okay, one last question let me take and then I'll move forward. Yes, Dipesh. Dipesh को किया था मैंने? Dipesh, you there, or is it by mistake you raised the hand again? Okay.
Good morning, Rohit. This is Sumanta.
Morning, Sumanta.
But this process is a continuous process because it is depends on a competitive how much value from outside it is coming, because it also depends on the value provided by the outside agents, the competitive.
Yes, yes, yes.
So also it's a very dynamic situation. It is not that I created a value and I will sit across and I will be satisfied that things
It's
will
a
move on.
continuous process because outside agents are changing now all the time.
Yeah, so this is a very dynamic situation.
Yeah.
Both sides, because outside will be also including, like that's why you said it pressure, they create pressure, and it depends on which side the value is more.
Yes, yes, that's right.
And that will continue for a longer time.
Yes, that's right.
And the value is, the pivot of this value is primarily into service and quality.
No, need not be. It has to
May
be in
not
all
be.
three dimensions.
All the
Functional, emotional, and spiritual. So that is the biggest differentiator now.
Yeah, so my question is that somewhere I also was reading that people at this stage are very much moving towards the emotional and spiritual side. So comparatively to other outside agents, which is maybe an MNC, somewhere people will give values to their own domestic companies or domestic suppliers or local suppliers. Will it be a scenario where the local or deglobalization is going to have some kind of
No.
no.
It's very simple world. Whoever gives me value
Okay.
will stay.
Irrespective from the emotional part, that I am more attached to my someone who is local or domestic or not coming
Let me give you an example of Zoom. Right now in front of you, we are operating on Zoom.
Right.
We would have tested each and every. कोई बचा ही नहीं होगा शायद.
Right.
But Zoom functionality is not being matched by anyone.
True.
Still in the search mode, continuously.
True. I also agree.
So functionality is the first pivot. Emotional is the second pivot. Spiritual is the third pivot. Now, what do I mean by that? If functionality is zero, what will I do with emotional and spiritual?
True.
So he will have to satisfy functionally completely.
Is there any percentage ratio of these three, or like
It's
ideally
100.
all 100?
100 gets over, then only second 100 starts.
Together doesn't make 100. Together it doesn't meet 200s. It's all of individually is 100%.
How you see 100. No? So I can call 300 as a total pie and then say what percentage of that is. But it does not make much sense. All three pies are mutually independent. So it is like if functionality is not 100, I will not look at emotional and spiritual.
Right.
Functionality has to be 100. We started this Darpan on Zoho. We did not start on Zoom. But the moment the number of participants increased from 100, The voice used to go. We tried a lot, we complained a lot, but nothing happened. So we had to shift to Zoom.
Right. Got it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
functionality is 100. That's very important. So Arun had a question. So I'm just shifting.
Hello, sir. It's
Yes,
nice to
sir.
see you in the morning.
Thank you. Same to you.
Sir, actually, this is actually related question only, but actually, I see Reliance come out with a Reliance disruptive model. Actually, where it use everything free of cost initially. Initially, whatever you told functional and
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are not concerned about emotional and spiritual at all. Now, what actually happens is players who have been given equal to functional, emotional, and spiritual. Also, because of this free or lesser thing, like what you call getting a cheaper rate, people move. People cannot, something you told, people
I
move
will
for
tell you very
value.
simply. If Geo
Yeah,
had not come,
yeah.
today we will not be interacting like this.
That's what, sir. And now I'm coming to my question. How are the other players going to sustain? Because he's having money, for financially is very strong. Now he can run the show for even 1 year or 2 years or 3 years also. But other players has to survive somewhere. And again, I'm telling you, the moment everybody exists, it's becoming a monopoly market. Then he's going to refix his prices.
And people
That
will
is the motto of the entire thing.
and people will move. See, the world never stays for anybody.
No, by the time there won't be any place. What I mean to say is
It
that
never happens. That never, nobody is God here. That never happens. Somebody or the other will come. A market, monopoly market is over in this world now. There's nothing called as monopoly anymore. If there is value, somebody else will come. So that never happens. So don't think that's going to happen. The moment he came with Geo, other players also started building that data network. No? Today I'm not using Geo. I never went to Geo. But I use the power of Geo to negotiate with Vodafone. And I'm happy.
Yeah, that's we have
Now,
been
data
doing.
is important. So it need not mean only Geo or Airtel or Vodafone give me data. I'm using a cable network data right now. I'll be building now fiber to home. I'm not using Geo. But Geo's power was used to rationalize the market. There's no monopoly. Monopoly never happens.
Okay, other players think what would be your suggestion in a situation like this, if any disruptive players are entering the market, how to
Create
protect
value.
ourselves?
There is no other answer. Create value. If you create value, you will sustain.
Again, if they are also giving value, so it's like
You will not sustain. Anybody who gives more value will only sustain. All those who don't give value will not sustain. Okay, I will have to move.
continuous R&D.
Continuous value
R&D.
creation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, so let me take the journey forward now. So having understood that without creating much value, I cannot stay in the value network. So every element of the organization, आप कोई भी agent होने दो, upstream हो, downstream हो, let's take downstream हो. Every agent of the organization will have to generate value for the pie. To generate value for the pie. उसके बाद आपको ये इंश्योर करना है कि बाहर का एजेंट उसके लिए ज्यादा वैल्यू जनरेट ना कर दे. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल, if this outside agent generates 3 times the value for the downstream firm compared to R from the present transactions, downstream firm might move out. So therefore it is important to understand the downstream firm cannot move out. So we should have a right value creation model so that everybody has a good pie in the whole thing. Now, आपकी organization के अंदर अगर वैल्यू जनरेट नहीं कर रहा है everyone, you will not be able to generate value for the pie. Let's take an example here. Let's take an example from a model which is like, let me take two examples. First example I'll take is of a retail kind of a setup. Very common, easy to understand. So a retailer is a downstream firm. Now this retailer wants to generate more value for the network. उसको अपने नेटवर्क के लिए ज्यादा वैल्यू जनरेट करना है. Because retailer wants to generate more value for the network, he wants to reach out to more people. So he says, fine, I will not be able to reach to so many people. I'll start franchising. So from retailer, because he wants to generate value for the more people, from a single shop retailer, he becomes a franchisor. Suddenly he changes shape because without being a franchisor, he thinks he will not be able to generate more value. So he transformed from being a retailer to becoming a franchisor. The moment he transformed that, he started emitting more value by doing that only. तो वैल्यू जनरेट करने का पहला मंत्र transformation. You cannot generate value without being transformed. So transformation is the first rule. Then after transformation from a retailer to a franchisor, he starts adding more agents to its network, because when the agents get added, they also generate value for the network. So he gets a franchisees, which was not in the retailer's value network earlier. So he added another agent in the value network to generate more value, franchisees. This did not exist. It's a downstream partner. Then came another stage where he said, now there are too many franchises, I can't handle them, so I'm destroying value. So he added another downstream partner called as master franchise. In the McDonald model, McDonald had franchises first, then he said, I can't handle all the franchises, I need a master franchise. So he got master franchise. Master franchisee also thought after some time that I can't handle all the franchises, I need sub master franchisees. So as you start adding value to the network, after a point you also start destroying value of the network. वो पॉइंट समझना जरूरी है. उसके बाद आपको आप इजीली अपने आप को ट्रांसफॉर्म कर सकते हो या एक नए एजेंट को ऐड कर सकते हो. So there is a franchisor, there is a franchisee, there is a master franchisee. Then said, okay, we need to add value in their lives. So we need to have larger network where we can use our economies of scale and add value to their lives. They are doing their procurements on their own. We will help them do a centralized procurement. So central procurement partner, upstream supplier, I need to have central logistics partner. production partners. And then of course there are consumers, who was earlier coming to the retailer directly. Now because of his larger network, his whole network has shifted. So this was the retailer ka value network. But because he started adding these things to his network, this value network increased from this size to this size, maybe larger. Now he's not working with only a few partners inside. He's working with that is how you increase the value pie. पहले छोटी पाई थी, उसको मैं छोटा सा अप्रोप्रिएट कर रहा था, अब मैंने पाई को बढ़ा दिया. ये है सेल्स का नया मंत्र. We will be actually, if we can't see this for us, we are still trying to live in the old way. धक्का मारो धक्का मारो धक्का मारो धक्का मारो धक्का मारो धक्का मारो. वो एक पॉइंट के बगैर, पाई छोटा है ना, उसमें खींचोगे कितना? पाई छोटा ही है ना. You will have to create new value in the pie so that pie grows. Now even if you are taking the same, you will be able to take much more than what you were taking earlier. Is this point clear? Now I will be going in detail about how do we appropriate value individually, what does the sales team need to do, what is the CR, because हर एक सर्कल के अंदर काम कैसे करना है. ये रिटेलर सर्कल जो कि फ्रेंचाइजर सर्कल बन चुका है यहाँ पर. Now what does he have to do to increase the value pie? Needs to be understood. So therefore it is important to understand two important things here. As much value as you create for more agents in the network, the value pie will increase. Let's take an example of a real estate here. Direct, उसको मैं ज़्यादा complicate भी नहीं करता, उसने खुद को transform भी नहीं किया. A real estate player who was a self-oriented direct sales person. That means if you see a ratio of sales that was happening was maybe 80-20, 80% was happening by direct sales, 20% was happening by channel partners. But the pie was small. One building he used to make, two buildings he used to make. So he has to now think larger. But for thinking larger, he will have to add contract partners in the network. He will have to add, maybe get agents from outside into the network. He will have to add the power of his own brand into the network. He will have to build a very strong channel partner network inside his own network and ensure that he adds values to all of them, thereby adding value to the value pie. Then only as a real estate downstream firm, you will be able to extract more value from the same value pie. So today I'm leaving you with this thought. Tomorrow we'll pick up the same value pie and then take it and see how we actually start appropriating it. First is understanding, can I increase my value pie from X right now to 100X in this post-COVID? Because what are we trying to do? जैसे एनवायरमेंट चेंज हुआ हमको लगा कि एनवायरमेंट चेंज हुआ तो मतलब वैल्यू पाई तो वही है, उसमें से इंजेक्शन लगा के खींच लेता हूँ. वैल्यू पाई को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. कोलैबोरेशन का टाइम आ गया है. नेटवर्क्स को ऐड करना पड़ेगा. वैल्यू के नेटवर्क के सर्कल को बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. जब सर्कल बढ़ेगा वैल्यू पाई इंक्रीज होगा. आप सेम परसेंटेज भी ले रहे हो, आपको एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू ज्यादा मिलेगा. Are you with me here? Okay, let's see if you have any questions on this thought. Raise your hands. Questions गायब हो गए? Sorry, I couldn't see. Mr. Modi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good morning to you. Yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that value appropriation, for value appropriation, the more I create value, the more I get value appropriation. This is what I understood.
Need not be.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to ask, how do I generate the value creation which can be converted into value appropriation?
वो सोचना नहीं है.
Achha.
The science of value creation and value appropriation are two different. Value creation is the first thing that you have to do. So you're creating value for the pie. फिर आता है कि उसमें से वैल्यू एप्रोप्रिएट कैसे करो. That's the business model. The first business model is creating value. See, understand करो, मैंने shift कहाँ किया है? I've shifted only one word here. I said pre-COVID you were creating product which was creating value. That time is over. Now you have to create a network which creates value for the value pie. Tomorrow I will tell you how do I appropriate value from the value pie.
Okay.
Because value creation बहुत बड़ा साइंस है, वैल्यू कैप्चर बहुत बड़ा साइंस है. हम सबको समझना पड़ेगा डिटेल में करना कैसे है ये. वैल्यू क्रिएशन करना कोई आसान थोड़ी है. जो आपकी मशीन है ना आज, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मशीन, वो वैल्यू क्रिएट सिर्फ प्रोडक्ट से ही करना जानती है. हमको वैल्यू क्रिएट करने के मॉडल्स बनाने पड़ेंगे, बिजनेस मॉडल भी चेंज करना पड़ेगा सर.
Yeah, there is a lot of efforts here.
Yeah, in creation only. But creation does not mean you will be able to appropriate all of it. Creation is for the network. You might be able to appropriate a part of it. Because value pie जैसे ही create हुआ, जो बाकी प्लेयर्स लेकर गए इंक्लूडिंग द एंड कंज्यूमर, जो बचा है वो आपके लिए बचा है. सारा आप ले नहीं सकते हो, उसमें से भी कुछ छूट जाएगा. So addition of the value appropriated by all the players of the network will always be less than the value created.
Okay.
Now it depends upon the power of the appropriator that how much he is able to appropriate from there. Are you with me here?
Yeah. So efficiency cannot be 1 equal to 1. I get it.
Right.
Thank you.
जी संकेत जी.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Rohit.
Good morning.
Actually, this question is related to the section which was discussed previous to this questionnaire. Uh, uh, Regarding the network map now,
Mhm.
as a stakeholder in an organization,
Mhm.
I understand that this scenario is a very dynamic organization process.
Mhm.
The agents keep on moving and coming forth within the network map and going back out.
Yes.
So my query is, as a stakeholder of an organization who wants to control these factors to remain on top, what are the controlling factors to make sure that I generate most of the value and most of the agents will stay with me? Because unless there is some,
Answer it.
some constant, yeah,
You have to generate more value. That's it. See, only focus on generating value. Where are you generating value? That is a question to answer. How do I generate value and where do I generate value? That's a different question, because you might think I'm generating value, but others might think this is not value. So therefore, I don't know whether you're aware that we did customer mind mapping program. In customer mind mapping, we map the mind of the customer.
yeah,
And after mapping the mind of the customer, we start understanding, okay, this is the things that he value. These are the things he don't value, because everybody is giving it. So outside agents are also giving it. I'm in this network because this network is giving me a value which other agents are not giving me. Let's take an example. Let's take example of real estate only. In real estate, which industry are you in? Which business are you in?
we are into the engineering field.
Engineering. You're a manufacturer or you're a trader?
We are manufacturers as well as service providers.
So you're a manufacturer of which engineering are you in?
We are into the process of dry ice blasting.
Okay, so you're part of Wilfred's team.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so now as a engineering organization, you are actually trying to add add value in your customer network. Okay.
Yeah.
Once you have done customer mind mapping, you will realize that there's some certain things that we were not doing for the customer earlier, which if we start doing now, even if any other player from outside comes, he will maximum provide dry ice plastic, but he will not be able to provide what I am providing as an additional value beyond the service that he is giving. So this is important to identify what are those things that I keep on infusing in the network, that people stay within my network.
Okay.
Are you with me? This is a dynamic process. Completely, continuously keep infusing value in the network, so the value pie keeps on increasing. अब वैल्यू पॉइंट इंक्रीज कर रहा है, मैं उसमें सारा अप्रोप्रिएट कर पा रहा हूँ कि नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, डिफरेंट क्वेश्चन. बट एटलीस्ट कीप ऑन इंक्रीजिंग द वैल्यू, लेट अदर्स ऐड वैल्यू. एटलीस्ट मेरा नेटवर्क तो वही है.
Yes.
Okay, by only increasing the value,
Yeah.
the pie, even if you're not able to appropriate all, still you will not be able, you will not die. If you keep on focusing on value appropriation without creating value, you might still die.
Yes.
Got it?
One follow-up question on this.
Yes, please go.
When we talk about value, value is a very it is very different for different customer. So
Not.
yeah. So how do we uh, generalize something to say that this is the value we require? So based on this value, we
It is not. That's what I'm saying. It is not different for different customers. If you have identified the face of your customer well, this will not be different. It's the same.
okay.
Okay. But identifying the customer is important.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, Santosh.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
How are you, sir?
Very well.
Sir, I have a question here. Actually, we are into manufacturing of packaged drinking water.
Yeah.
So if you can kindly guide me, like what are the ways, how can I think to add more value to my customer?
See, you will have to do customer.
It's a very highly competitive market. Many people come into the scenarios here.
Every market right now is competitive. Everything
Yes,
has
sir.
become a commodity if you're only providing value to the customer, which is only functional.
Right.
You will have to do customer mind mapping and you have to understand what my customer needs.
Okay.
आपको 3 काम करने पड़ेंगे. पहला काम आइडेंटिफाई करो कि मेरा कस्टमर है कौन,
Okay.
बहुत क्लियरली.
Okay.
Then from there start identifying what does that he need.
Okay.
And mapping his mind, what are his needs, and there you should be able to list at least 250 to 300 needs.
Yep.
Beyond what you can just see. क्योंकि पेपर पे लिखने बैठोगे तो 4-5 नीड के बाद खत्म हो जाएगा.
Right.
वहीं पर दिमाग लगाना है कि मेरे को कम से कम 200 से 250 नीड लिखनी है, छोटी से छोटी.
Okay.
From there you will start generating value for the customer.
Okay. Definitely, I'll try this thing and see.
You have to do this exercise, otherwise you will not be able to find the answer.
Sure. Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Dilip. Okay.
Morning, Rohit.
Good morning.
Rohit, in the earlier sessions, you talked about that the post-COVID era, collaborations are going to be key factors in terms of sustaining the organization.
Hmm.
Does the value creation model also very precisely helps you to identify areas where you need to collaborate?
Value creation model will only tell you where your collaborators are now becoming part of value network. That's all.
Okay.
कहाँ पर collaborate करना है वो नहीं बताएगा ये.
Okay.
आपने जब collaborators identify कर लिए, then you will say these will become part of my network.
Okay. So in my understanding, if the outside forces are adding more value, and you feel that you need to take that support from outside,
bring them into network.
Okay. Okay.
So like for example, like the retailer example I gave right now here.
Yeah.
You might find that I am in the retail space and there are so many customers around me who go there. Why can't I bring them into my network?
Okay.
So that is where your charisma comes into place. Okay, you talk to them saying, "मिलके काम करेंगे तो ज़्यादा better होगा." So you bring them into network, create a larger value pie, then appropriate value for them.
Okay. Right. Thanks, Rohit.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Yeah. So, in last couple of days, you have introduced one topic regarding the right customer. Right customer. You have introduced one concept of right customer. That time, I was just wondering that to keep ourselves busy, sometimes we have to we have to choose, we have to go along with the customer which is not the right one for you. So this right customer is also one of the value agent or a component of this value network. And since you are not choosing a right customer, overall value created will also go down.
Yes, of course. Yes, you're right.
So I can relate to that thing, sir. That means your energy, I'm just maybe crude in language, your energy or whatever your resources or the value created, if you are having 50 customers and out of that 10 customers are not right, quote unquote, then in that case, it will go down the value created by you, gross value created by you.
It will reduce the value pie. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So value pie can be equated to energy. So you're right. So earlier you had only one energy with you, that is your energy.
Yes.
Instead of getting people inside, you added the energy in the network.
Yes.
and then you are saying, now let us take energy from it.
Yes,
Now,
yes,
you've
sir.
added wrong customers to the network. They're only destroying energy. They're not adding energy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Post-COVID era, the more and more efficient you want to become, you
Yes,
will have to be very careful about every element that you're working on, because you will get only one chance to survive.
yes, yes, yes,
Okay?
yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now unmute yourself. Smart Solutions. I don't know what your name is. Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you speak? Okay. There's some issue at your end. Yes, adding product and services may do this thing, but be careful while adding it. You should not go into something new, because if you go into something new, you might not be. The question that he was asking is, uh, can we create more value by adding additional product or services so that customer remains with me? Adding product or service may definitely add more value for the customer, but be careful. That's all I'm saying. Because don't see whether you have the capabilities of actually servicing this kind of a new product or new service that you're adding. If your capabilities do not match, you will destroy your existing value also. You will destroy your existing value also. Therefore, be careful. Bulin Rabba, you need to please unmute yourself. Okay. Okay. Mr. Deepak, please unmute yourself.
Sir, uh, actually, I understood your concept, sir. I understood your concepts and thank you very much. Actually, I have I belong to a real estate developer company. Actually, the situation here is actually in Chennai. There, as you said, there are many people upstream, low stream, everything. But actually speaking, as far as value addition is concerned, everybody are offering the same as much. I don't find anything different, whether it's number one or number two or number three or number four. Only the offer parts are different. OEF is
That is not
offers.
sustainable. So you have to
Sir?
start with something which is beyond offer only.
Yes, because but it is the situation right now, and people are falling a prey to that. Actually, if any offers is coming, so people automatically take that offers. That is one part of it. Now, what is my question is actually when you talk about value creation, okay. Now we have to think about some value addition, and we have to work out some R&D and value appropriation. Now, what I am trying to understand from your thing is, so after my earnings, after my tax and other expenses, I have to keep a proportion for my people down the line. Down the line means outside people.
No. What are you saying? No. Value appropriation, I will tell you tomorrow. So don't think. Don't make any conclusions here. We have not even started value appropriation. Today, I only focused on value capturing. How do you capture value in the value pie? That's it. How do you appropriate value? I'll tell you tomorrow. So don't worry. So focus right now is only how do you create value. You have to create value is an important. One way is like somebody was asking about, you may add new product or service, but be careful. Another way is you add new network agents whose energy adds to the value network. Like
That's
channel
what
partners for real estate player.
no, actually, till now, actually, we have not been engaging much because we don't want to share our profits with them. Now we have to open up the gates of sharing the profits.
whether you're sharing profit or you're actually increasing the pie. So when you increase the pie, everybody gets more value, more money.
Yeah. I can understand, sir. I can understand. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Rohitji, I was just listening to it just now. Something has opened up for me. You say we are into supplying mithai boxes to 400 people in Mumbai, New Mumbai, and Thane.
Mm-hmm.
So what has come to me that mithai boxes, when the people they take in the multiple of 1,000 each variant. So what has opened up to me value addition when they purchase, I can offer them. They require the tape dispenser for that. Every time the tape dispenser with which they stick after filling the mithai, they just have the tape dispenser and they pack the boxes. So we can give them the offer. If you purchase 4,000 pieces, then we can give a tape dispenser free. Because this segment, mithai wala segment, are free kya mil raha hai, so they will stick to it. This is the what actually you mean to say?
This is one of the very crude ways of adding value. This is right, not wrong. This is right. But keep on thinking beyond just this. Because बहुत सारी ऐसी वैल्यूज होती हैं जो कि दिखती नहीं है, जो टेंजिबल भी नहीं है, लेकिन उसकी वैल्यू ज्यादा होती है.
हाँ, जैसे हम लोग उनका परचेस पैटर्न हम लोग जैसे मॉनिटर करते हैं और उनको
वो एक बहुत बड़ी वैल्यू है, वो बहुत बड़ी वैल्यू है, जो कि कोई भी क्या कहते हैं उसको, कोई भी रेप्लिकेट नहीं कर सकता.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, Samantha.
Yeah, just to add, because that's one of my experience, as you said, value. So during the COVID, what we did, we sent a basic simple letter, of concern to all our dealers and network distributors, specifically being an FMCG company. So asking about how they are doing and all that. And then after that, when they was ready to open, we sent them the kit of PP with mask and sanitizers and all that. And we also sent them a letter that बहुत जल्दी हम मिलते हैं चाय पे. That was a campaign we did. So these kind of letters, coordination, showing concerns, I think that's again an add-on values which is innovative, which competition cannot copy.
A bigger value is when you restructure yourself. See, what have you done? Let me show you. You can see the network, right?
Right.
So you are here, maybe downstream for. You try to add value to end user by adding value to the pie. आपने शेयर को आपने इंक्रीज किया थोड़ा सा, लेकिन bigger thing is how can I add value to this and this. ये तो हम करती हैं.
Right.
हम अपने इन दोनों पे कैसे वैल्यू ऐड करते हैं, और कैन आई गेट एनी अदर सर्कल इनसाइड दिस.
Right.
That is innovation. That will change a substantial structure of the value network. Competition एकदम गायब हो जाएगा.
Right.
Thinking organic and thinking disruptive. में यही difference होता है. I can add 3, 4, 5, 6 things into the life of the customer. That to anyway you have to do.
True.
But how do I change the structure of my value pie? Will actually disrupt the whole scenario only. People will say, "अरे ये तो इतना छोटा सा प्लेट था, इसको क्या हो गया?" Because what have you done is nothing. I've just changed the way the game is being played.
Right. But I think this actually had increased the bonding of us with our distribution. So distributors and our business partners and all that.
These are emotional values that you're adding to the pie. I'm not denying it. You must do it. But how do I change the structure of my value pie?
I got that. It's a very small part in the big picture.
Correct. It is an important part. I'm not denying that part. But we need to look at a large picture. Okay. Okay. One last question. Anuragji,
Good morning, Rohit.
good morning.
Lately, in the last month, I've been like watching and understanding your webinars and all. I'm learning a lot. Today, I just have a small, query or a question. That to add, to add more competition in my value network or value network map or value pie, and the outside agents you were talking about, should I more focus more on the believers or the followers kind of agents? Followers, I mean, are the opportunist, or because earlier pre-COVID, I can say my market share index or share index was from 1 to 100 is to 60. Now, if I have to increase, do I have to, focus more on the qualitative issue or the believers issue or the followers issues?
See, you have to take care of everything, first of all. I mean, this is not going to be an easy game to prioritize which one is first, which one is second. One, you have to take care of everything. Secondly, the most important thing which I spoke about here is, can I add an agent in my network who can take care of this thing? Or take direct advantage of it.
Okay.
Be an agent from outside who was never part of my value network. Can I add him and who can take care of this? For example, if suppose customer engagement is becoming an issue in this time, can I add a call center partner which was never part of my value network earlier, from an outside agent, collaborate with him and he starts engaging with the customers? Now I'm trying to only solve all problems myself. I'm not even thinking of this thing. Can I add a new agent in my network? Now at that time you might see I'm expending out X amount of money, where cash flow is an issue right now. But I also have to see that it's the value pie which is increasing. There's a proportion of the pie this agent will be taking, but the whole pie will increase.
Got your point.
The pie increases, my share automatically increases.
Okay, right.
Happiness index.
Thank you. Yeah, I got your point. Yeah, thank you, Rohit. Thank you.
Now, at this point, I would make an announcement, which I forgot. I had to make it earlier. That please do not miss, even if you've done any other program with us, do not miss this program of physical workplace to digital workplace. This is a primary basic thing right now required. We have to create our office again, keeping all the scenarios of outside in mind. And even if COVID goes away forever, still a remote workplace will be more efficient model for you to work, because it will reduce overheads, it will bring in efficiency high, productivity high, all those things will happen. So don't think कि अरे अभी तो खुलने ही वाला है तो क्यों करूं, खुलने वाला है तो भी कर लो, because अभी अगर आपकी इंडस्ट्री में किसी और कंपटीशन ने कर दिया, उसका वैल्यू नेटवर्क बढ़ जाएगा. तो you will have to start thinking, कोविड के कारण ही शायद, कि मुझे अभी डिजिटल वर्कप्लेस बनाना है. 2,500 rupees is nothing for this value that you will get over there, to understand what is the new model of building a digital workplace. So please enroll now and today. Okay, thank you. Link is there on the chat box.
Very good morning, Rohit. Thank you very much. I think it's a really informative session of today. What is my take on it is on 4 particular areas. One is think big, out of the box with the world, or increase the pie, what you said at the start of it. So you have a vision board, think big, then collect as much data as possible. As much data. If you're thinking big, the world market, what is going, what is it, data becomes very important. Third, find strategic value chain partners in that area of your businesses, okay, which it will go through to the end consumers. And then step by step, take the strategic rule, okay, what current values you are adding to your customers in a 200 plus points, and what you can concentrate. So I think this was some of the points on step by step. So one thing, and very important point that I wanted to ask you this question is, I already have been in a discussion with my team, as you know, we have a large team. In digital network, if we have more than 8 or 10 people, I know it will add value in this case. But is there any specific thing, you require any specific team members or HODs to be also a part of it? For me, it will only work in tandem with all the HODs, some of the people into the line, 15, 20 people joining together to understand.
Yes. And
So
what will happen is when I will explain compared to when you will explain, there will be a difference.
I don't want to explain, sir, because I think if there is a person who has a better explanation, I always believe he is the person should be in the front.
Please do it. It will be very, very
Yeah.
helpful.
But is there any specific amount of people that you can coordinate in the team, or how many? Okay.
As many as you can, because जितना को ये समझ में आएगा उतना better है.
One other thing on this case is we have been coordinating with our ERP IT consultant, very close friend with us. We are also insisting and requesting him also to be a part of it. He is already, I think, attending today's seminar. So for us to build the structure on a digital platform, also that would add value, right?
Yes, definitely, definitely, very important.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much for all of you being here. The timings have changed. Thank you for responding to this. And let me want to conclude this session today. But tomorrow we'll be taking this value forward and understand what is the meaning of value appropriation.